Hello, I'm Martin L. Shoemaker, one of the authors in Robots Through the Ages, an exciting new anthology coming from Blackstone Publishing, July 25th, edited by Robert Silverberg and Bryan Schmidt. This book is a history of robot stories across the field of science fiction going back more than 100 years, including 3 new stories never before seen just for this volume, including one of mine. And I have loved the stories in this volume, and I would like to put together a video reviewing each of the different stories within it and share it with you so that you can see what you can get in this amazing volume. Our next story in Robots Through the Ages is Good News from the Vatican by Robert Silverberg, our lead editor in the collection. And it opens like this. This is the morning everyone has been waiting for, when at last the robot Cardinal is to be elected Pope. There can no longer be any doubt of the outcome. The conclave has been deadlocked for many days between the obstinate advocates of Cardinal Asciuga of Milan and Cardinal Carciofo of Genoa, and word has gone out that a compromise is in the making. All factions now are agreed on the selection of the robot. This morning I read in Osservatore Romano that the Vatican computer itself has taken a hand in the deliberations. The computer has been strongly urging the candidacy of the robot. I suppose we should not be surprised by this loyalty among machines, nor should we let it distress us. We absolutely must not let it distress us. Every era gets the pope it deserves, Bishop Fitzpatrick observed somewhat gloomily today at breakfast. The proper pope for our times is a robot, certainly. At some future date, it may be desirable for the pope to be a whale, an automobile, a cat, a mountain. Bishop Fitzpatrick stands well over 2 meters in height, and his normal facial expression is a morbid, mournful one. Thus it is impossible for us to determine whether any particular pronouncement of his reflects existential despair or placid acceptance. Many years ago, he was a star player for the Holy Cross Championship basketball team. He has come to Rome to do research for a biography of St. Marcellus the Righteous. And if that strikes you as weird, welcome to Robert Silverberg, who loves to take a concept and explore it and juxtapose it as a way to seeing the meaning behind it for people today and in the future. The idea of a robot pope, story idea enough, but then how Silverberg puts it together is it's told all through the eyes of what's almost the setup for an old joke. A rabbi, a priest, and a minister meet in a bar. Well, okay, they're meeting in a restaurant in Vatican City, along with 3 philosophers of no known particular religious denomination, and we see through the eyes of these different philosophers the implications of this momentous historical event. It's not a big story about battles for worlds. It's not even a big story about people fighting each other over the spoils of a ruined earth. It is a story about humanity's tendency towards religious faith and how that tendency changes through the ages. And yet is in many ways timeless. They have finished counting the votes by this time, surely. An immense throng has assembled in the square of St. Peter's. The sunlight gleams off hundreds, if not thousands, of steel-jacketed craniums. This must be a wonderful day for the robot population of Rome, but most of those in the piazza are creatures of flesh and blood. Old women in black, gaunt young pickpockets, boys with puppies, plump vendors of sausages, and an assortment of poets, philosophers, generals, legislators, tourists, and fishermen. How has the tally gone? We'll have our answer shortly. If no candidate has had a majority, they will mix the ballots with wet straw before casting them into the chapel stove, and black smoke will blow from the chimney. But if a pope has been elected, the straw will be dry, the smoke will be white. And this is part of the wonder of this story, how Silverberg very reverently and lovingly talks through the process of selecting the Pope as we know it from the outside, because none of us can be in there, but we hear reports of the process, of the ritual. And the narrator is describing the process as if he were there and could see it in his head. But there's always this side element that you realize, no, he knows no more of what's going on in there than we do. And we're all just waiting to see the results and see how the world will change after that.